Even though we can agree this needs to improve, there are no reliable means to objectively and scientifically collect data on student engagement. And we know that engagement is very, very powerful. Just a 1% uptick in engagement can lead to a 6% improvement in reading scores and an 8% improvement in math scores. So, the obvious question is, how can we effectively capture data on student engagement in the classroom? We spent years developing a medical-grade device that will soon be approved by the FDA to do just this, and it's called Focus One.
Focus One is the world's first wearable device specifically designed to detect and analyze users' attention levels. With proprietary hardware and an algorithm based on a formula developed at NASA, Focus One accurately translates brain signals into attention level. Now, let's see what a class with Focus One looks like. When students use the Focus One, teachers can immediately tell when their students are in a low attention state or high attention state. With Focus One, teachers are notified if real-time classroom average attention level drops too low. They can then re-engage their students. When students are in group discussions or working on team projects, teachers can easily observe all of their students' attention levels from one place. With this information, they can give individualized attention to those who need it most. With Focus One, teachers can engage in systematic reflection of their teaching by utilizing the classroom attention level report. Focus One offers teachers an opportunity to discover what works and what doesn't in their classrooms. It can further provide an excellent foundation for the development of new approaches to teaching in order to optimize student engagement in the classroom. With Focus One, students can use the individual attention level report as a self-assessment tool to develop themselves as independent learners. Incorporating all of these features allows teachers and students to improve academic performance, learning efficiency, and attention level, which all lead to a more enjoyable and fulfilling educational experience.
I just realized I'm wearing the exact same shirt today. So the great news is we're kind of facing this blue ocean market. We know there are some products that are in development, but there's none on the market quite like this. So there's billions of dollars being spent in edtech, and we think that we can have a strong foothold in the Chinese market, which I'll explain later. There's also the PD market that I think could be a really interesting place for our product. We also have the highest capital efficiency in the brain-machine interface market, having received a $4 million order after only $5.5 million in funding. So the Chinese distribution company we're working with on that $4 million order, they're going to import and distribute 20,000 units and have expressed interest in placing a second order for $120 million worth of product over the next couple of years. We're doing some pilot studies in the US this fall. We're raising a $20 million Series A round to explore this and other verticals. We also have the first mover's advantage, which is really interesting. What it means is with these 20,000 units, we'll be able to build one of the largest brainwave databases in the world. All that data will help us improve our algorithms and therefore our products, creating a higher barrier to entry. We're attracting a bunch of great high-level advisors from some graduate schools of education, the Center for Education Policy Research at Harvard, as well as a professor from the Harvard Medical School. The reason why we're the only ones who've been able to do this is because of our incredible interdisciplinary team. Bi-Cheng Han is the CEO and founder. He's getting his PhD from the Harvard Center for Brain Science. My name is Max Newlon. I have a master's from the Harvard Graduate School of Education. Sam is getting his PhD from MIT. Suri has her PhD from Harvard, and Bruno has his PhD from MIT and has spent years developing medical-grade devices like this. So, in summary, we all know our teachers deserve better feedback. In fact, Bill Gates gave a TED Talk about this where he said, teachers don't receive the systematic feedback they need to improve. All other types of professions receive the feedback they need to improve, but teachers don't. So BrainCo is here to give teachers that feedback so that they can drive educational outcomes everywhere for all students. Thank you.
Big round of applause, please, for Max. Over to the judges for 3 minutes of Q&A.
So I have the same question that I did yesterday. I believe that if you can sell this and students will wear it, the potential is amazing. I'm still trying to, no pun, wrap my head around whether they'll wear it or will they revolt or Will the parents raise privacy concerns?
Sure. So maybe something I can speak to a little bit more today, and I may have mentioned this to you last night at the reception, but we've talked with a lot of parents, we've talked with a lot of teachers, we've talked with a lot of students, and I'm a very cautious person, so I was going into these discussions thinking that they were going to give us some pretty harsh feedback. What they told us was this: if you guys show efficacy, we are all for it. So that's what the parents told us. The students said, we want to be wearing this, and the reason is they understand that if they can help their teachers improve, then their education is going to improve. So they understand their part in the ecosystem. There's also some other interesting applications that you can do with a headset like this that has to do with gamification and potentially improving people's attention abilities that I think they see some value in as well. So yeah, I mean, so when we distribute these 20,000 units to China, we're going to learn so much so that when we put more focus on the US market, we'll have learned from all those experiences.
I just got a text from my wife. She wants to buy one because she's always trying to figure out what I'm always thinking about. But I think you have a right market where the East Asian countries will probably be a little bit more acceptable for that, so that's good. How are you pricing this?
Yeah.
I don't know how much it costs.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a grapple around that.
So I can give you some information on the deal that we have right now, more or less. So we're working with the distribution company. They're going to do all the distribution, all of the marketing, all the customer service. We're giving it to them at a wholesale price, and then they just a single-time fee, and then they're going to sell it through their distribution channels, through the Chinese government into schools, and also direct to consumers, because like I said, there are some other verticals that this technology has some applications in. But what I think is really interesting is potentially going towards more of a subscription basis with schools, and maybe even offering it as an option for PD, because we can provide this really hyper-local, hyper-contextual PD for teachers. So we'll be exploring the different pricing models.
What age range are you looking at, or what grades are you looking at?
Love that question.
And then how durable is this?
Yeah,
right?
love that question.
You look at Chromebooks versus iPads in schools. Yeah, it's an issue.
So your questions are actually they're connected, right? We think that this will be best for middle schoolers and high schoolers, and that's because we don't want kids to get too overexcited about it, and it's a piece of technology, right? It needs to kind of be respected. So we're going to be targeting middle schools and high schoolers. And in terms of durability, we've already done a few iterations to make it more and more durable. And with our distribution company, they're really, really great. They're allowing us to do iterations of the manufacturing runs. So we'll be able to pump out a few thousand at a time, see how it goes, and then make the changes we need to make so that it can span the different age groups.
Looks like you have
Sorry to interrupt, Glenn. That's 3 minutes. Big round of applause, please, for Max. Fantastic, sir.